she's here. He just appeared and he was like, oh, and you get surprised. It's kind of hard to recover sometimes. But yes, now we can actually head out of this room for the first time in the game. We can view the sealed grounds before it was really the sealed grounds. And yeah, Ghirahim's put up a bunch of obstacles to slow us down. And Ghirahim's being Ghirahim. Now he's doing his spell to awaken the Demon King, and he's just gonna try to stall us. So we gotta fight a giant horde. The sky turned dark. Yep, now the final stretch. I feel like most of these guys just one-shot those. It's not like they're super difficult to deal with. I'd recommend running by a lot of them because they'll be endlessly spawning. But sometimes you gotta stop and take care of them if they build up too much. Locking onto your target will help you actually move around when swinging, so I recommend doing that in those hordes. Yeah, he's gonna keep slowing us down, and we gotta defeat certain enemies to be able to progress. But yeah, you can lose a lot of health here if you're not careful, and especially in Master Mode. You want to keep as much health as you can for the final boss, obviously. Yeah, we got some bomb guys. Either dodge them or don't hit them at all because they will explode immediately. So I recommend just running by, but unless that happens. And we got the big guys. Yeah, see the bomb guys, you don't want to hit those. But it did defeat a lot of those guys, so I guess it worked out. These are weaker variants, so don't worry about those guys. They're not too tanky. Oh, yeah, we got bow guys now. Again, just honestly run on through them, hit them, then you can go around taking care of the small fry. Yeah, see there, you can just get hit by a random one. So be careful. These bow guys can really kill your health in Master Mode, so be careful of that. Just go for the stamina wheels, just work getting them until you reach those. And you gotta stop for a second. Ah, yes, this guy. He's like the most, like, tankiest normal Bokoblin out there. And yeah, he's gotta not get too far, just... Yeah, you gotta remember you have to whip him to get him out. No, he just does that. Yeah. He's the tankiest Bokoblin you'll see in this game. But there you go, there he goes. Again, be careful, he does have a lot more moves compared to others. Oh, yep, this guy. Got the Monster Horn from them. They stop summoning people. Watch out for the bomb guys. Any of those summoner guys you want to get rid of because those keep spawning more and more of them. I think I remember you have to defeat them in order for the summoners to progress. Come here. Give me that. That's enough of them. Just make sure you keep thinning them. Once you reach down here, it's when you have to defeat all those two guys. There we go, 2 for 1. Where are you going? Get rid of you. Actually, I can just run on through, can't I? Yeah, see the arrow doesn't really kill your health, but yeah, you can run right through the last part of it to get to Ghirahim. Gotta just slice through all these guys. There we go. Off to Ghirahim. Yes, I am fast, thank you. He's just really mad at me over this time. And now he's just our final battle with Ghirahim. He let us off the first couple times, and it's his mistake for doing so. You know, he's pretty much his weapon form, I would say. So he kind of told us the way to beat him this time around. This time you can't actually hit him pretty much at all due to his metallic state. But your goal is just knock him around off the platform. There we go. And you want a Skyward Strike or no, Fatal Blow to open up the core. You just gotta swipe a lot. Make sure deflect. Hit it again. Keep opening it up. Can't get him when he's doing that. Yeah, now you want to take your time when doing this. Down another level. There we go. Back on the ground. Now our goal is to hit the core. Now he wants to fight sword to sword. Wait for him to move. Ah. Time it right also. You can't hit him straight like that at all. Hit him in the chest. So you gotta do a Ocarina of Time thing here and hit it back and forth. Yeah. Having a whole bunch. He does not like that. Now you bring out the big sword. Ow. Point to the center of the sword and the core of it. Come on. Oh, come on. Yeah, you gotta just take your time on it. And not get hit by that. There we go, break it, and they can step him. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. That was scuffed. Yeah, just take your time on these. There's no rush. Well, there is a rush, just don't do that, and there we go. You don't, because you're the Demon King doesn't mean you're invincible. But he did finish his revival ceremony, unfortunately. It's obviously not good at all. So because we're in the past, technically Demise hasn't been the imprisoned for very long. There is Demise. And that's Ghirahim's master. But as I said before, Ghirahim is the weapon, is pretty much Demise's weapon. Yep, and in the sword he goes. Yeah, Ghirahim, if you actually look at him, in a way he looks somewhat similar to Fi, and Ghirahim is basically Demise's guardian of his sword, and in this case, literally, he is the sword. So Demise is like the opposite of Fi. Yep. Catcher. We got Bruce. Good man Bruce. Saving the day. This world's a lot more different. I am the hero. Not reincarnated yet, because this is the first in the timeline. He's respectable about it. He just wants an arena, pretty much our own arena. Oh, Granny has some info. Guess we still have a chance of getting her back. It's not fully done. Head to Demise for the final boss fight of this game. Yeah, he's been waiting for a very long time to come back. Yeah, and that's the portal to the final fight. So once we want to head in there to the final boss fight, we'll do a quick. Let's do a full manual save first. Yep, 0% and still able to finish. Not quite yet. Yeah, I do have full health, right? No, I don't. But I will do a manual save here actually. I would make a second save file for this. Actually, I don't need to. I'm not going to come back to this game. At least not for the foreseeable future. And New Game Plus. But, like, yeah, if you do that, there is some content that gets locked after you beat the Sky Sanctuary. So, if you want to do anything, in terms of make sure you don't get locked out of anything, do everything before the drop. Yeah, I'm going to quickly go back to the temple to get a quick heal. And I got 2 to 4 health potions because my Healing Regen Potion also gives me the ability to regen, or gives me to feel the regen health. Here. Violation Potion plus plus. The description. Restores my shield, which is not much of a problem, but gives me 8 hearts. So I pretty much have 2 full heal ones, because I combine 2 at once, and then the 8 regen. So I should be good on health. If this was Master Mode, though, I would go back and get 1 more health potion, just in case. Oh, yep. Don't need to worry about Zelda at the moment. And Impa's here. Yep, so now we gotta face him. Zelda's back here. Obviously can't get back there. So now we will head down to Demise for the final fight. Down we go. Do another full save, because I like doing that. And off we go. The fight's gonna tell us again. Yep. In we go. To the final boss. Good luck we need. Got this nice, peaceful little place. Yep, we're not backing down. So, its hatred for the gods is what caused this. He just wants to rule everything. And here we go. I didn't get the Hylian shield this time around, but because it's just a boss rush to get it. I'll maybe do it in my off time. Yeah, so here we go. And now, Demise. I forget how difficult this boss fight was, but don't just do swing logs like I did. Maybe like 1 hit. Alright, you can't, if you parry once, you gotta parry again. I forgot, I used to not do that. I'm a lot better at parrying than I was before. Here we go. We have Skyward strikes now. He has them too. Yeah, don't do that. Just wait to charge. Nope, didn't get it in time. You gotta pull up your sword during that time period. Dude, that's the attack to like 4 hearts of damage. Oh, come on, didn't need a swing. Yeah, stun him now. Yeah. And you can take a lot of damage without knowing, like that. Like, I remember I was at 4 hearts here. Yeah, and I died from that. Yeah. That's why I want to bring the potions. Yeah, there is no parry mechanics. And yeah, just watch out for that also. He can just block it. Okay, missed it. Forget. Oh, come on, I parried that. Nope. Nope, not quite yet. You just keep trying, so you block it. There. Two? Nope, almost. Come on, give it to me. Yeah, I can't remember. You can't parry that. There we go. This should be it. Yeah, there we go. Fatal blow to finish the game. Your power is now fading from you. Hate never perishes, is born of a new cycle of no end. And this is him basically saying how he gets, yeah, she had the blood of the goddess, spirit of the hero, they are eternally bound to this curse. An incarnation of my hatred shall follow your kind, dooming them into a blood-soaked seat of darkness for all time, which is basically the curse that was given to us, which is the reason why Ganondorf constantly gets reincarnated, or Ganon, and then this Ganon or Ganondorf form. That's the reason why Ganondorf, despite being vanquished every single time by Link, or depending on the timeline, always will come back. It's because of the curse that's been put upon our people from demise. And there we go. We will now seal the darkness. The eradication of the Demon King. Yes, consciousness is in the sword and now sealed away. Yeah, so this is why in some Zelda games, when you take the sword out, Ganondorf gains his full power back, because a part of the Demon King's consciousness is actually stored inside the sword itself. So to take down Ganondorf, you have to actually make him his full power to take him out, and then seal it back again, and continue it over and over. Yep, it's finally over. Legend of Groose. Still want that spin-off. Legend of Groose spin-off, that would be cool. Yep. Groose did his part and he was useful. let's head on back. Yep. Technically, it's Fi's, like, only one of the only times you've seen her, and now fully safe, for purpose fulfilled. Defeated the goddess reborn, defeated Demise, so now we have fulfilled her role being the hero of legend. But now we have to say goodbye. So it's time to say goodbye. Back in it goes. For the next hero to use, which, timeline-wise, is Ocarina of Time Link, or Young Link. Oh, one last thing. Yep, that was your purpose. Cherish those memories. And she's got a big emotion from this learning of what a human has emotionally. Maybe meet again, another life. And next time we see her is technically Ocarina of Time in the sword, but we don't hear her voice again until Breath of the Wild, if you notice. And it's one of the cutscenes. Yeah, she's not coming back with us. This is her time. He has to destroy the gate afterwards also. Yep, we gotta make sure everything's okay, make sure the spirit does not reawaken in the time period until our time period. Yep. Part of the Sheikah tribe, which is the goddess's guardians. keep the Triforce secure. Yep, giving her one of her bracelets. Yep, one day we'll meet again. It's time to head back. Welcome back. Okay, time is gone. So demise is fully sealed. Yep. That's the bracelet that Zelda's given to Impa. Meaning that old granny here has been Impa the entire time, so she's seen the events, knowing what's to come. Yep. She's been here the whole time. But it's also her time to go. Door's opening. Yeah, there we go. There we go. And that's the ending of Skyward Sword HD. Or really Skyward Sword, because story-wise, there hasn't been much changes. But yeah. I still think this game holds up really well. Despite the fact people saying it's one of the more mixed Zelda games by the community, I still think it holds extremely well. Compared to other Zelda games, yes, there is less of an open world element, like Wind Waker with its open sea, Twilight Princess and its wide range. But the only open world we have in Skyward Sword is the sky, which doesn't have much, which is unfortunate that there isn't much of an open world area to explore. But yeah, here see in the credits now, we actually get to see Zelda's side of the journey. So we know what's going on over what Zelda was doing all this time when we were out in our first roundabouts and everything. But yeah, as we went And as we went through the game, I would say pretty much think of the ground as soon as you reach the ground, that is the dungeon. Yes, you do return there quite a little bit, but each area has a new section to go to every time. So people said it feels repetitive in that way, but it really doesn't. You spend like maybe a quarter of your time in the same area, but then the rest of it is the rest of the area is able for a new section. So in that regard, it still feels varied. Yes, it's still very basic, just forest, volcano, desert. But I think because of how they laid everything out, the level design is arguably some of the best Zelda dungeon design out there compared to every other game. Like, maybe not the best, but it's possibly one of the best ones. So basically, they sacrificed the open world nature of it for a very more linear experience. As you saw, like, when you go through the areas, you claim what's there, and that's basically it. There's nothing really besides that to claim. Just goddess cubes if you want to, around the world. But besides that, there's nothing really to collect. And Skyward Sword also did introduce the fact the first Zelda game to be orchestrated ever. So that's also something first in the series. And as you've seen, like upgrading weapons, upgrading your gear, having a shield durability, stamina, that's all stuff that Skyward Sword pioneered so Breath of the Wild could use. So honestly, Skyward Sword was necessary in order for Breath of the Wild to be what it is, because they went a very linear experience of Skyward Sword using the upgrades and everything. And then they decided to, I think they took the roots of whatever Skyward Sword, took what they had, and then said, let's take the complaints about it being too linear, and then just open the game up while using some of the core mechanics of Skyward Sword, besides the mode controls of upgrading items the first time in a Zelda game. Except the dungeon upgrades you get for weapons. Those are normal in Zelda games, but yeah, Skyward Sword introduced the optional upgrades for weapons that make it better. Obviously, upgrading potions has always been a thing, but upgrading everything else is brand new to this game. So overall, I still think Skyward Sword is a fantastic game for what it is. It depends if you like the motion controls or not. That was kind of like a flaw the original game had. But now, I wouldn't say a flaw, just how good your connection was. But, yeah. And look, we got some of the credits for the HD port. It's not a huge number of people, because I mean the game itself wasn't changed at all. There was no content added at all, but there was no content removed at all either. So yeah. So just overall, I still think this is a game worth playing, and now in a lot more convenient way. And if you don't like the motion controls, you can always go to button controls. What I've heard for button controls is it makes, obviously, since you can swipe a lot, and it's sometimes inaccurate with the swipes, in a way, swiping is, using the stick might be easier because you do have precision every single time. And because of the reason why because of the precision required, sometimes enemy attacks are very slow. So, in a way, people didn't like that because it's a relatively slower combat system. But I like it because it makes you think more during combat than just waiting for an opening. It's more about finding the weak point versus waiting for an opening to strike the weak point. You're pretty much always in control of when you can get the weak point. You just gotta puzzle your way to it. So in a way, like even like the enemies themselves, bosses and everything, because of the different structure, instead of it's like use this one weapon to find the boss's weak point and expose it, you actually have to sword play your way through the bosses. That's one thing you noticed. Most of the bosses in this game, or at least a bunch of them, don't require the use of the weapon of the item you obtained in the boss fight, in the dungeon. So in that regard, it's mainly focused more on the sword play versus the puzzling of the bosses. And in a way, it's a different type of puzzle for the game. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have about the game. Still think it's a really good Zelda game, despite people think. And I think you should give it a shot if you have it. If you want to use motion controls, use motion controls. But if you can't, just button controls still good. And there's still basically a ton of side quests to do up in the Skyloft you want to do. And once you do that, that's pretty much all there is to the game. But yeah, I do recommend checking it out. And I hope you guys enjoyed. And as we get to the ending here. And we do have one more scene after this, so don't click off quite yet. Yeah, meeting of him. This is the first time he has seen his daughter since the beginning of the game. And now, I think probably not Cloud Sea, not Xenoblade. The sky must have opened up a little bit, or something like that, so there's actually the lost winds can come on down, and I think the people can now return to the surface. I do think another thing is, with the Breath of the Wild 2 and all its trailers, I think the reason why they wanted to also release Skyward Sword is with the sky element in Breath of the Wild 2 they're showing off, as well as other things. I do think they're trying to implement a lot more of Skyward Sword type thing. Skyward Sword, not elements, but more of plot things into Breath of the Wild 2. To connect it, to kind of have like that connection. So you understand what's going on in Breath of the Wild 2 more, and heard the references because they were in Skyward Sword. Because Breath of the Wild was the only Zelda game after Skyward Sword. This game is Skyward Sword's 10 years old, but all the other ones are a bit older. Yep, yeah, what will we do now? And we will stay on down here on the surface. Yeah, a bunch of, I think they're prepping us for Breath of the Wild 2 of having a lot more things like that. But yeah, and that's the end of Skyward Sword. And all of it has. Also, Skyward Sword is the first Zelda game to introduce Master Mode. The HD remasters for Wind Waker and Twilight Princess introduced Master Mode afterwards. The original games did not have it. So it's also a nice challenge mode that you can have, which will allow you to do a save file, open up hero mode. I have a separate save file, so I won't delete it. Make sure to do a separate save file, because if you don't do it, then you can't go back. As you see here, hero mode save file. I forget, can you actually just change it to hero mode? Yeah, you can do it now once you beat the game. But yeah, that's the end of Skyward Sword. I hope you all guys have enjoyed my playthrough, and I will see you guys next time for whatever game I play next in the channel, or whatever I do next in the channel. Thank you for coming around, and I hope to see you next time when I play something different. Thanks.